So we're recording now. So I think that you said you wanted this week to come together and talk about what people are doing to stop hate crime, share ideas, and think about what we could all do together. Is that right?
Mm.
You all think that? I'm getting lots of nodding. That's really
Yeah.
reassuring, you know. That's brilliant when you nod. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I think some people have already contacted me or Rachel and said they might speak. So I think Philippa is part of Campaign for Change. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. And they've offered to share some of what they've done. And if we want, I've got a film of theirs that I can show. But also, we have Joanne and Kevin who are going to talk about what they've done in West Yorkshire, and they're from United Response. Is there anybody else who's up for sharing what you've done before we start? So I can make a list. Do you know what I mean? That's what I
Yeah,
meant.
I can tell you Sheffield Voices have got a little bit on hate crime that they get
Brilliant.
together.
Brilliant. So we'll do that. I've added you to the list. Is there anybody else that Jodie?
Yes, and I'll explain to everyone that we've done a DVD on it later.
Superb. So what if, is there anybody else I've missed? I don't want to offend anybody. You all know I'm doing my best to see you. So what if then we start by we ask Kevin and Joanne if they'll talk about what they've been doing in West Yorkshire, if that's all right with everybody. Then we'll ask Philippa and Campaign for Change.
Excuse me, Sam. It's not letting me put my hand down.
Shall I lower your hand? I think I can, you know,
Yes,
Jodie.
please.
I think I can. I have all sorts of power, you know, as the host.
I know. I'm the host for our meetings, and I absolutely love it.
I know, you can do all sorts, you know. Brilliant. Okay, and Paul, you've got your hand up.
Yeah. Basically, wouldn't be wise. I'm not trying to be hobby to you. I'm not trying to be nasty to you. But this is my third meeting of the day because I was in the Staying Healthy group with Pathways.
Right.
And at the same time, I was with the men as well, men's group as well. And even that was part of Pathways as well. So on that note, I was thinking, wouldn't it be wise to say our names and where we are, where we're from?
You remind me I should have done that. You are absolutely right. So we'll quickly do that. Now, we don't want to take too long because there are 26 of us, but you start us off and then you say who goes next. You can look at your screen and say, so-and-so goes next, and they can quickly come in and introduce themselves. How's that? And then they can say the next person. So go on, you tell us who you are.
Basically, I'm Paul Eastwood, but I like being called Paul. And I know the chairwoman or the chairperson, meaning you.
Yes, thank you. Welcome, Paul.
From Blackpool, last year or the year previous. And from Merseyside, I am a self-advocate with the likes of Vicky and I've got 3 hats, believe it or not. You wouldn't know what I mean by 3 hats. It is like I am part of Pathways member as well as a Pathways director. And at the same time, I am part of a member of People First from Liverpool, and as well as I am part of Vicky's group as well.
Fantastic. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm handing over to Vicky.
Thanks, Paul. Also, yes, I'm Vicky Forfar. Like Paul, I've got loads of different hats on really. I'm one of the 6 directors of Together All Are Able, membership secretary, a joint self-advocacy lead, Zumba instructor, amongst trillions of other roles. I have actually been to one of these sessions before, but I have not been for a while. Well, and unfortunately, I can only stay till about 20 past 3 because I've got something I need to be in. and so I'll contribute what I can in the short
Brilliant.
time.
Thanks, Vicky.
So let's see, who shall I pick on now? Oh, I see another face that I recognise in there, trying to play hide and seek, but she's not going to escape that easily. So I think I'm going to pick on Tina.
You were going to. That's why I dipped out. No, I dipped out. Very quickly to save time, I'm Tina Phelan. I'm the Information and Advocacy Manager at Wirral Mencat. I work quite closely with Vicky and Paul and a few others.
Welcome, Tina. Who do you want to pick on to go next?
I'll pick on, let's see, Becca Faulkner, just because she's there.
Oh, you mean the quiet one? Yeah, I'm a self-advocate. I'm also involved with Sheffield Voices. I have been attending a lot in the lockdown. I'm involved with the Autism Insight training there, and I'm the co-chair of Partnership Blood.
Brilliant. And who's next, Becca? Who do you want to go next?
Oh, blimey. We had Andrea.
Oh, hello. My name is Andrea. I work for Inclusion Gloucestershire. I'm a volunteer and advocacy peer mentor.
Brilliant. Thank you, Andrea. And who do you want to go next?
Tina.
Oh, I think we've had Tina.
Yeah, I can't.
Shall I pick? Are you going to give me more power?
Yeah, I'm Stuart.
Perfect.
She said Stuart.
Yeah.
I'm Stuart Finney, and I'm from Scarborough, and I'm part of Kieran's South Africa group.
Perfect. Stuart, who do you want to go next?
Dean.
Me, is it?
No, Dean.
Oh, Dean.
All right. Hello, I'm Dean. I'm from Northampton. I'm a member of the Northampton, Hambledon, Richmond area group of Keyring there, which I'm also a self-advocacy member. I am of there. I'm also currently the vice co-chair of Keyring there.
Fantastic. Who do you want to go next, Dean?
Christopher.
My name is Christopher. I'm a self-advocate in North Yorkshire. And Keyring. I'm a self-advocate with Keyring.
Lovely to see you, Christopher. Who do you want to go next?
Nice to see you. Philippa.
My name's Philippa. I'm involved in Campaign for Change. I'm going to pick on Scotty.
Thanks, Philippa. I'm also part of Campaign for Change as well. I live in Brighton.
Brilliant. Oh, Scotty, you're by the sea. I'm so jealous. Who do you want to go next?
We'll go on Tash.
Hi, I'm Natasha. I live in Harrogate. I'm the health rep for North Yorkshire, the quality and diversity rep for Keyring. I'm also part of Opening Minds. I'm part of Pathways, a part of Skills for Care, and a few other groups.
Fantastic. Welcome, Tash. Who do you want to go next?
I don't know who's left.
Okay, shall I pick?
Just now. Yeah, go on, you can pick for me.
Okay, I'm going to pick on Jodie.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, everybody. I'm Jodie, salary worker, speaking as an expert by experience. I'm also a computer worker, a trainer for the Learning Disability and Autism Awareness training that we've produced. Also a project leader. I've led on a few things. Myself and my friend Vicky has been part of a big project about big society, civil society, and through that I was able to go on a plane for the first time to beautiful Toronto, Canada.
Now you're just making us jealous, aren't you? Go on, who should go next?
Sorry. I'll say Vicky.
Thank you, Jodie. Like you said, my name is Vicky. I'm a side worker just like Jodie. I also work at Speak Up. and Speak Up's vice chair for the committee. Outside of me other colleague Robert, who's the chair. I'm an expert by experience for a person with mild learning disability. I do carbon treatment interviews, brackets, CTRs. I also do a lot of being involved in quite a lot of training as well. The training I've been involved in is training professionals like doctors and nurses, and it's hard to work with people with disabilities and autism better. I'll end it there because I have too much for a list. I'm going to pick on Alex.
Oh, thanks, Vicky. My name's Alex. I'm from Great Harwood. I was originally elected onto regional forum. I'm part of the Being Safe group, and I was originally from. I came over here from South Yorkshire 6 years ago, and I used to work with the person who just introduced me at Speak Up Self Advocacy in Rotherham. I used to work where Vicky works now at Rotherham Speak Up, and I used to work for quite a number of years, for quite a long time. For I think it was about 6 years or something before I moved over here to Rotherham. Before I moved over here to Great Harwood, so I'm part of the Lancashire groups now, and but I'll always be I always have my heart in Yorkshire because I'm a proud Yorkshireman.
This is the better side of the Pennines. Brilliant, Alex. Who should go next?
The Pennines. I don't think that's true.
Alex, all I can say is you're just nothing but trouble.
I know. Who should go next, Alex? Oh, can I pick? I'm going to pick then Steve Brown.
Hi there. Yeah, my name's Steve Brown. I'm new to this. I'm co-production partner for Achieve Together, so I'm Elmie's new colleague, and so I'm going to have a focus on the employment side of things. This is my first, this is my first meeting with this, like this, and I'm really looking forward to, seeing all the great work that you guys are doing. And yeah, I'm sure you'll see my face a lot more in future. Oh, and I'm from Somerset as well, so down in the southwest.
Down in the southwest, great. Steve, who should go next?
Yeah. All right, you might have to pick for me because I've had to.
Oh, that's all right. I will pick the other Stephen. I'm going to go Steve to Stephen. Or Stevie, go on, Stevie.
Just changing my name so it didn't confuse people. I'm Stevie. I'm from Stowmarket in Suffolk, and I work with an organisation called Ace Angular for people with learning disabilities, and it's my first time of coming on this Learning Disability England meeting, so I'm a bit nervous about who I'm seeing and where they're from. And the only other person I know on here is that lady, I can't pronounce her name. I can't. Let me have a look because she's got a very long name. Melissa. That's all I can say. That's a proper name. Melissa,
okay.
yes.
Is that who you want to go next?
Well, she already said her name. She can't actually speak very well. She said she was from London, so she's already spoken.
Ah, she's in the chat, isn't she, Melissa? Thank you. You introduced yourself in the chat.
So
but, you don't need to be afraid, Steve. It's a very kind group, is my experience. Who can I pick? Who goes next?
Yes, you can pick because I don't know who's gone. Who goes?
Well, Emily. I'm going to pick Emily to introduce herself next, if that's all right.
I'm going to ask one question before I do this. Can you slow down a little bit? Because it's really hard to keep up when you speak really fast.
Okay, that's really good for us all. Thank you. Now I'm trying to get us to the bit where people talk about their work, so I am rushing us through this bit. But you're really
I'm Emily. I live in Seaford, and I'm an influencer. And work with Scott. Lucky him.
Absolutely fantastic. Welcome, Emily. Thank you. So I'll pick who goes next, if that's all right. I'm going to pick Kevin Rogers.
Hello, it's Kevin here. I'm a bit tired because I worked the night shift today. I'm back at work now on my Royal Mail at Vanguard. So I go to meetings, and I also get involved in the Chef Voices sometimes. Chef Voices, Catherine invited me to go. They had a meeting today. I think it's 11 to 12 o'clock, and I was there for a bit as well.
Great.
And advocate to help disabled people get equal rights and get equal rights to COVID. I had the first dose of the vaccine, that AstraZeneca. I had it on 5th March. It gave me side effects like bad headache, feeling a bit sick, and a bit shakes, and he felt temperature going cold for 2 days. But the third day, I felt better for it. But I'll get the second dose late May.
Good.
Yeah.
Good on you, Mark. Good on you. Sorry, Kevin. It's good to see you. Thank you.
Thank
Do you
you.
want to pick who goes next, or shall I? Can I pick?
The guy from Suffolk. What's the name? The guy. It's way.
We've had Stevie,
Melissa.
but what? Yeah, Melissa's introduced herself in the chat actually.
I think it's a partner.
I don't know whether Mark's here.
Mark.
I don't think Mark's with us today. So shall we pick on Matty?
That's yeah.
Is that all right?
That's right. Yeah.
Hi everybody, my name is Matty Prothero and I'm a self-advocate from Sunderland People First.
Lovely to see you, Matty. Welcome. And then I think, shall we ask Dion next? If that's all right.
Hi everyone. My name is Dion Winter, and I work with the LD portfolio for Sunny Stoke-on-Trent.
Great. Welcome, Dion. Welcome. And Andrew, I don't think we've heard from you, have we? Is that right?
Hi, I'm Andrew Garvey. I'm a community advocate working for Assist in Stoke-on-Trent, funnily enough. I work on the REACH project, where we support a group of adults with learning disabilities to speak up about their lives.
Perfect. Brilliant. Welcome, Andrew. And
Thank you.
Ruth, I don't think we've heard from you.
I'm part of REACH. I'm part of REACH as well.
Oh, nice. Okay. Welcome, Ruth.
Yeah.
Good to have you here. Thank you. Kev Brighton.
Hello everybody, my name's Kev and I work for Leeds City Council and I'm the hate crime coordinator for Leeds and I work with Joe.
Brilliant. Welcome, Kev. And I think, Andrea, have we heard from you, Andrea? Yes, we've heard from Andrea, haven't we? Is that everybody then? Has everybody got to introduce themselves? Have we missed anybody? Because I think there's only Joanne. Well, I was going to say, then we'll come to Joanne. And if everybody's all right, we'll ask Joanne to introduce herself, and at the same time, she can start talking about the work she's been part of on hate crime. Is that all right with everybody? So we're going to ask Joanne and then Philippa and colleagues from Campaign for Change, and then we'll hear from Sheffield Voices and then Rotherham, and then we can talk about what we want to do. Does that sound like an okay way to use the rest of our time? Perfect. Joanne, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Okay. Just to say that I know Kev's got as a job in, so if Kev has to dip out, I'm going to stay on for all of the sessions, so I can do anything anyway. So yeah, thanks for inviting me to this session today. So I was asked to come to this session to talk about the work that I've been doing about hate crime. Kevin and I met 3 years ago now, and the hate crime work we do is specifically around disability. We're very focused on our work being victim-led, and so just some examples of what we've been doing is we have been working with families, we've been working with carers, we've done focus groups, we've done education sessions, we've developed videos, we've been working alongside West Yorkshire Police in particular. However, I notice on this call there's other people from other areas and local authorities as well. We have done work across the country with the work that we've been doing. Things people are telling us from these focus groups, and particular victims of disability hate crime, it's really important, we think, is education is the way forward. And when we did, and first started out looking at what was there for people with disabilities, people told us it's a real maze to report disability hate crime. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. A lot of family members and victims of hate crime were telling us things that had happened to them that really upset them, that actually they actually did not acknowledge and recognise it was a hate incident and hate crime to start with. So what we did was Kevin and I got together and we put together some accessible resources. So we looked at what were out there already, working with the Crown Prosecution Service, working with the police, working with other agencies, and we put together accessible resources. We made that then into a training pack that's available for everybody to use. And then what else we also did is we acknowledged is the legislation is so complex to work through. We actually then worked with the Crown Prosecution Service and West Yorkshire Police to put together a small bite-sized chunk video. So that means that's a video of about 7 minutes long to break down the legislation. What we've also done as well, and we've been successful at getting funding for, is hate crime can't be tackled on its own. It can't be tackled by one agency. So agencies have all got to come together. So we've done a little bit of a video, and it's called a stop-start animation on the links to like hate crime for a person with disabilities that went across into county lines. And that's about a scenario where somebody was befriended. They were offered money and then they were taken out of area to do things they didn't want to do, and then they were brought back into area. So we've tried to break down, and this is kind of the work that we're doing. Everything we've done so far has all been in liaison with family groups, carers, victims of hate crime themselves. Because that's where we think it's really important, because if we haven't got the resources right, they won't be used. Often resources are developed and just put on a shelf. So that's why we've got different versions of Easy Reads, is because some people it's worked, pictures work for one, words work for another. Some people like videos. Some people, we've found out, just want to pick up a phone and talk to somebody. So we're kind of mapping out what's available and trying to put it all into one place, whether you're in Gloucestershire, whether you're in Bristol, whether you're in West Yorkshire, because we've acknowledged through the conferences that we've delivered is it's an absolute minefield for people to work through. What we do know, and Kevin and I are really proud of, is the education work we've done, particularly, I know Sam's asked us to look at West Yorkshire, is the hate crime figures have gone up. And Kevin will be able to verify this, but I think when we first started in the Cosmopolitan Hotel with 50 people, Kevin, I think the hate crime and incident figures together were something like 200 across West Yorkshire. And they've now gone up over 3 years to just over 1,000. And a number of them are repeat offenders. But what we want to say is we're seeing that as a really good and positive thing, because if you've got the education right, if people are recognising it's wrong what's happening to them and they've got a right to live without fear and walk down the street without being called a name, or, you know, something a lot worse, physical abuse has happened to them, then actually we want them to report it, because what that means is then the police have got that intelligence, they call it, to target resources under safeguarding to keep people safe. So we are a real advocate of education, but moving it forward, which is why I wanted Kevin just to come on today, and I know he's only got 5 minutes, is to look at what do we do next? Yeah, because we know there's all these people out there. We know it's still only a tip of the iceberg from the focus groups, what we run. We are really focused and we want to maintain it positive. We know there's lots of things in the press on the BBC. There's adverts out there about what's happening to people with disabilities, but actually it's like my analogy, and Kevin will tell you this, whatever meeting I go to, I will say, so what? What's next? How are we going to turn this to keep people safe? And that's always what we come back down to in our work. So Kevin has just got a brief 5 minutes to tell you about what we're going to do next on this kind of 6-point plan we've kind of put together. So yeah, I'll hand you over to Kevin. I know he's only got 5 minutes, but like I say, I will stay on and answer anybody's questions. You've got the video links already, Sam. I'm happy to share those out. Yeah, over to Kevin.
Thanks, Joanne. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. And listen, it's really, really nice to be invited to come and speak to you. My linking to this work is my son has Asperger's. He's 35, he's higher functioning. But I went to a concert with him one day, and when we got off the train in Leeds, there were some boys that were shouting some rude stuff at somebody else. And I said to him, if this was you, what would you do? And he just said, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. I'd come home and tell you. Well, that's great. But what if I'm not with you, or you need to tell someone quicker? And so we started going through what we would need to do, and that led me and Joe looking at what we need to do. The first thing is listening. We needed to listen to you, because you're the people with the ideas. You know what you can do, and you know what you need from us. So the plan we came up with was if I can make it like, actually I wish I could show you the PowerPoint, but I will send it to Joe, to Sam, sorry. I drew a road, and on this road I had signposts, and every signpost I made sure we did everything we could on that signpost. So I'm going to go through these, and I'll keep it where it's something that hopefully you can grasp on what I'm trying to get across. So the first signpost when you're driving down this road is awareness. Who's aware? What are they aware of? And how do we make them more aware? And to do that, we have to have research. We need to know what was out there, who already knew, what were they doing about it. The next one we come to is accessibility. The biggest problem for my son is getting access to what he needs, because he struggles with communication and he struggles with speaking to people face to face. So asking a question for him is hard, really hard. So accessibility, and this is where Joe's videos are fantastic. So we're trolling down the road, and we've dealt with our awareness, we've dealt with our research, and we know about accessibility. People with physical disabilities, we need to check that everywhere's the right place for them, that they've got the ramps and the access and the toilets. But we also need to know that the people who they're going to talk to and tell about these things that are very personal and quite frightening know how to listen. And that leads on to the next signpost as you turn the corner, which is support. And I am absolutely blown away today with the support that you're giving people in the community. It is absolutely outstanding. I didn't know there was that many people out there. Sheffield Voices, Speak Up, Caring, Assist, Reach Project, all these places, Campaign for Change. It's absolutely second to none. When I talk to people with disability, that's both hidden and visible. And as a police officer, because I've only been retired 3 years, I specialised in hate crime. And when I sat down with people, I said, you need to tell us, I need to get these people. I need to make sure that they know.
You shared the screen on the signpost just a minute ago, and then you flicked it back off.
Oh, I'm really sorry, I didn't know I had that screen on. I'll take it away because I don't know how to use Zoom. This is one of the things
It's me. Do you want me to share the screen with the 6 points on so you can talk through it? Would that help?
Well, you can if you want, but it's blowing me. I'm getting confused with it. I'll just put it down at the bottom so I can see it. It's just to sort of help me to get through to the roadmap. So the support's there. We know it's there, and all of you are all helping people in the community. But when I speak to victims of hate crime, and that's not just disability hate crime, that's race hate crime, religious hate crime, sexual orientation, transgender. I deal with everybody who's been targeted because they've got a difference about them. And when I sit there, they say, well, you never do anything about it. You never catch them. When I look back, I think, they're right. We don't do very good. We need to be better. So it's about achieving better outcomes. And that's where we are now. Let's make sure that when we do get some knowledge about people who are causing this upset, we engage with them, we educate them, and if they don't listen, we enforce and we make sure they're prosecuted so that they don't do this to anybody else. Everyone needs a chance because some people are ignorant and don't understand. But those that do this blatantly and are out there targeting people, and I know they do, those bullies need dealing with. And the last thing on our roadmap is something called making it sustainable. In other words, when Sam's not here, or Steve's not here, or Paul's not here, advocating for someone else, who steps in? Who's there to pick up those reins and make sure that the plans we've got in place are followed through? So that's the plan. I'm sorry I'm going to have to go because I've got a meeting planned with somebody who is struggling with some crime against them. But Joe will pick up some of those things, and if you need me to ever come on again and chat in more detail about how we can get that evidence, how we can gather the information, and how we can help you to recognise that you can help others to get good evidence, because that's what gets people told off, and that's what gets people educated, is good evidence. So thank you again for letting me come in. I'm sorry it's been a whistle-stop tour, but Joe will take all your questions, I'm sure, and feedback to me if you need anything. And Sam, if you ever do, obviously the England need me to come back on, I'll be glad to come back on with a bit more time to talk about it.
Brilliant. Thank you, Kev.
Okay,
Really
everybody,
appreciate that. Thank you.
I wish I could wave, but my video won't work either, but I am waving, and have a really nice day.
Fantastic.
Bye bye, everybody.
That's brilliant.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Kevin. Thank you.
Bye.
That's great. Now, has anybody got any questions for Joanne? Or
Yeah.
Go on.
I was a victim of a hate crime, and I won't go into all the details, but basically it was so bad I called 999. I had no choice. They said I was in right to call 999 and to help me back to my house safely. They took my statement, but then because they couldn't find the person who did the hate crime, they were actually somebody who was hanging about outside my house. It had to be dropped, but they just gave me a police statement and just said that if something further comes up that they'll investigate it. They did drive round and look for the people, but they could never find them. It just makes me wonder where they went and what happens if they did somebody did something else. And I was a bit like, because they were only kids that did it to me, and I was like a bit wary of saying something and calling the police. But then I thought, well, if they did it to me, they'll be doing it to someone else, and who knows what else, how else it would progress. And they were attached to a gang.
Yeah.
And I thought in my head it had to be stopped now before it got to the stage where it could be like something that couldn't be took back. That
yeah,
it could be a warning for now.
Yeah.
But there could be something.
Yeah, let's see what
progressive.
Joanne says about what their work has kind of taught them about those situations.
Yeah. So one of the things we have been doing and working again with the police is in some of the scenarios that we've been doing is we've been mapping out where things like CCTV cameras are, where the police can seize camera evidence. We've been working, a lot of it seems to happen as well on transport. And it's the little things that I didn't know. And this is what I was saying, we can't solve this on our own. We've got to work and communicate with other agencies. But all the buses, for instance, I didn't realise had a camera on, and they all have their own unique number. So if something happens on the bus, you can just ring them up and give them the time you were on the bus, the route you were on the bus. If you can take the number, that's even better. And then they can just take that camera off the bus and have a look, and then they can see people who are doing these things to you. So on the sessions that we do with victims and families and people with learning disabilities who are not victims, but this is where the education comes in. We're teaching people things like this. So you know, so they can say, well, actually, we're on this street at this time, or you don't even need to know the time. One of the scenarios that we got was we were saying something like, you know, well, what was on TV on that day? You know, you don't need to say, you know, it's 7:30 on a Friday night, for instance, but you could say it was dark outside and and Coronation Street had just started, or I'd just gone into the kitchen to have my cup of tea and then this had happened. And you can work out things like that as well. So it's about giving these little tips and people knowing about where these cameras are as well, because there's something called managing expectations, and the police are very victim-led. But what they also are is they're looking at evidence, and they need evidence. And if they haven't got any, who do they go after?
Yeah.
What's how
Okay.
you know, for the people who've done this to you. But there are other things to do. So, for instance, you're absolutely right, Tash, because what happens to that report is the police have now got the intelligence that I spoke about earlier. So what they will do is, it might have happened to you, but then round the corner, somebody else might have rang it in, and it might have happened to someone else. So suddenly they've got now 2 reports of somebody doing this, or 3 reports in the area. So when you actually talk to the police and part of the groups, what they do on an overnight feed is suddenly they might have seen 4 things that have happened by a bunch of children, aged say 14 to 16, males, females, a mix. But suddenly now they can start and step up paroles in that area, or class it as a red flag, something's going on, not right sure what. And that's what I was saying. There are other things we can do to keep people safe in the communities around that, managing expectations around the police, you know, because when we talk to some people, it's happened to and they have rang the police as well. They don't want to go to court. A lot of people, they just want it to go away.
Yeah. Thank you, Joanne. That's brilliant. Now, I'm really aware of time. I've not managed our time with us very well today. And we have to finish at 4. So go on, Vicky. I know you had your hand up, and
Paul's been
Paul
waiting for a very long time.
I know. That's why I was coming to Paul next. Thanks, Vicky, though. Paul.
Basically, I know this is out your comfort zone, everyone, but this is my first time on here. As I said before, I am a self-advocate, and I'm part of Pathways, and we go to Blackpool Conference. And I'm just wondering, the people who actually do this, I wonder sometime next year, can you get yourselves into Blackpool Conference? Because it'd be good work. And there's like a lot of people who want this kind of information, and you can spread it a lot more better.
Yeah. Paul, I think that is a brilliant idea. And a part of what I'd hoped we'd have time to talk about today is what we can do to connect even before we get together in Blackpool. Let's live in hope.
I'm just using it because
no, it's a great
even in the
example.
Northwest.
Now I'm going to go to Alex, and then I'm going to go to Stevie, and then I'm going to let Philippa talk about Campaign for Change's work, because I want to make sure she gets the chance. Is that all right, Alex? Go
on. I'd just like to say that great work by Joanna. I think she's doing some amazing work on this, and I'm absolutely sick. I'm absolutely sick of people with disabilities being bullied and hate crime and stuff. And when I lived in East Lancashire, we actually did something in East Lancashire about this, and it was a safety in town scheme where we have these safety in town cards, and you put them in shop windows. You go to any shop or pub, and if anyone's having a go at you, you can go there to a safe place if anyone's having a go at you. We did like safety in town for anyone who's having this. You can go in like things that have the stickers on in pubs and shops.
Brilliant.
And I think she's doing a really good thing. And I think we should stop hate crime altogether, because it's really
that's what
horrible.
We want to work out how we can support each other to do it. Thank you, Alex. Stevie.
Yeah, and I hope it really stops, because it's a subject I don't like, and I hope it all stops altogether. And we're all working together in this group. And I think this work that we're doing will stop it altogether. We're continuing to do this great work as a group, and I think it'll stop one day. It'll stop altogether.
I hope so. I sincerely hope so. But I think Joanne's right. We all have to work together and connect with others, don't we? Stevie, go on. And then Philippa, you're on your 2-minute warning, you know. So.
Yeah, just very briefly, yeah, I was a victim of, hate crime because apparently someone in Ipswich in Suffolk pretended to be me on Facebook, and then apparently this other lady who he went out with then had children off her, and then they said that I was the one who had children off them, and then this lady produced a certificate of my name with the birth certificate saying that I didn't want the children, and they threw the children to one side and sort of thing, and then that all had to be sorted out with the police, and I had to speak to a lady called Belinda from Norfolk and Suffolk Victim Support, and now it's finally all been sorted that this lady has still been arrested for telling blokes to make up stories about other blokes' names.
Wow.
So, and that's still going on in Stowmarket, that because there's somebody else with the same name as me in Stowmarket who keeps getting in trouble, everyone think that's me, so I'm still the one being told I can't go anywhere in Stowmarket by myself because they think I'm the one in Stowmarket as well, causing all the trouble.
Flipping heck, Stevie. Well, I'm glad the other stuff's sorted out, but that is a scary thing to happen, is somebody having your identity, isn't it? And like pretending to be you. Wow, I'm glad you got some help. I'm glad it got sorted. Thank you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Philippa if she can share with us the work that Campaign for Change have done on trying to stop hate crime. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Yeah. Brilliant.
Can you tell me something first, and then you could do the video for me?
Yeah. Go on then. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm involved for I got Campaign for Change, which is an organisation which deals with that and helps people that got learning disabilities. I'm a big organisation, and you got to hear somewhat about what we do for I got Campaign for Change. I've done to raise awareness to hate crime in the past, so that you have something to say. And the person who does the Campaign for Change with me, called Elmi, so she's on annual leave this week, so it's just me doing this. So this is my first time I've ever done this before. So and if I take my time, don't worry. If I stutter, that's just me to get nervous. It's my first time, so bear with me. I've got my colleague Stephen Brown, which is just there next to me. He's going to be there to give me moral support and support me and get in Elmi's absences. Firstly, Campaign for Change members Elsme Barner and David Ross created a film to raise awareness for hate crime towards people with learning disabilities, and I've got autism. A few years ago, I would send you this, Sam, and you could deal with the video with me, for me. That's okay, Sam?
Do you want me to show it when you're ready? When are you ready?
Yeah, and I give you a thumbs up, and just to say that I'm ready. Okay. And you've got secondly, and you got Elsme Barnett composed a record and a song about her experience of hate crime. And thirdly, David Ross invited a group of friends from another Achieve Together homes to record a cover of Where's the Love by the Black Eyed Peas to spread the message about hate crime. And you've got to please keep in mind that Elsme has changed her name recently, so different name will appear in the videos. Basically, Sam, who would share this. So, and you've got to feel free. And can you share the video, please, Sam?
I will, with pleasure. Now let's see if I can get this right now, Philippa. We live in hope, don't we? That I'll get it right. Now let's see if we can do this. Just a second, I've got to get the sound right. Share computer sound. Now, hopefully, you're all going to see this. Can you all see this and hear this on your screens?
Yeah. Hello, I'm Stevie.
Hello, I'm David.
And this is our film. The actual fact of this is to basically stop people, to show people what they are doing, that it is wrong.
David and Stevie are members of Campaign for Change, which is a self-advocacy group, and they both campaign to raise awareness of hate crime towards people with learning disabilities.
Stevie and David approached me to say that they would like to make a film about hate crime.
So it's estimated that about 73% of people with learning disabilities have experienced hate crime in their lifetime.
David came in and he said to me, I just want it to stop, Lucy. We need to do something about it.
They are very dedicated to their cause and very creative in what they do.
Hate crime is a subject that is really close to their heart.
Their hope is that it will help other people spot hate crime, and maybe those people who abuse make them think twice.
They wanted about 3 to 5 different scenarios with hate crime categories.
It could be pretty straightforward ones with name calling, so verbal abuse, physical abuse, social exclusion, where a person is not allowed to join in with in an activity that everyone's doing.
I'm gonna play. No!
An example would be at school, someone being excluded from a game because they're autistic.
I was only a kid. There I was, minding my own business. I didn't know who he was. He just thought, a newbie. Let's start on him. He had a gang. They used to surround me, tell me that I wasn't special. They told me that I didn't belong in that school and that I wasn't going to make any friends. And the worst part of it, they stopped saying that, and then they went up a few levels, probably to the maths.
I've had previous experience of people with disabilities, or more specifically with autism, being asked to leave places purely because their behaviour didn't match social expectations of other people. People with disabilities have the right to access public places, same as any other person. Therefore, excluding them is a crime. It's a hate crime. If there was more education and more inclusion when people are very young, that would definitely help against stigma towards people who are different. Mate crime is a very difficult type of hate crime to spot. Because when someone is pretending to be your friend, you're likely to believe that they are your friend. And you might not even suspect that something is not right.
Hey, I just wondered, could I borrow £1, please? Cheers.
If there is a friend that only wants to see you when they need something, it's likely they might not be your friend.
Hey mate, I was just wondering, can I have a £5, please?
If there is a friend that brings more sadness in your life than happiness, likely they might not be your friend.
Hey, I just wondered, could I have £500, please? All of it. Thanks.
There are many very dire consequences to hate crime towards people with learning disabilities. It impacts on their life in a major way. It creates further problems, both mental and physical.
One of them pinned me down, and then the other one asked to kick me and punch me, spit in my face, pull my hair, and tell me that this was the life that I was gonna live. And I tried to find them off, but more bullies came. It got so out of hand. The name calling, the time putting me down in the playground and getting the mates to beat me up. We don't need it. What has turned you to be a monster and do this?
Hate crime against people with disabilities is very underreported. This might be due to the reason that people don't know that this is a reportable crime. Sometimes people are afraid to speak up. Sometimes people are not believed.
It needs to stop. Because all these people that are getting hurt, beat up and spat at, and they don't deserve it. We're vulnerable and we are trying to get on with our own lives. Don't pick on me because I'm different, but you are just like me. We hurt just the same. I think it's cool to pick on others. We shouldn't be hurt. We ain't your targets. We're powerful. We're wonderful. Just like you. You're just like me. Just like us. We're all the same.
Thank you very much indeed for that, Sam. And has anybody got any questions or answers they'd like to ask me about the video or anything? And you're more than welcome to feel free to answer.
Can I just quickly say, I know Paul's got his hand up. That was incredibly powerful. Please make sure that everybody who was involved knows that that was really moving. Paul, go on, what did you want to say?
Yeah, basically, same thing again. If you want to push it, from my point again, I think you should try and push it towards a part of Pathways lot, or come to the Blackpool conference next year yourself, and then try and push it for other people to see and tell them this is one way, it's powerful that way.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Paul. can I know it's 4 o'clock, so we're short on time. Becca, I'm going to say Becca, because I know Becca's got to leave us.
Mine's quick, because then I've got to shoot. Just to say that basically Sheffield Voices are doing work on hate crime. They have a hate crime subgroup, trying to get it took into schools. And they have a snakes and ladders board that they developed the other year with statements unrelated to hate crime to try and teach people in schools. So, and they're trying to get it online as well. I believe they had a subgroup that met the other day.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you, Becca. I know you've got to leave. I'm just wondering whether we need to plan a longer meeting to talk about this and what people can share. I wonder if this is only the start today.
I think we should.
In case any of you start leaving.
Yeah.
Just remember, look after yourselves today. If this has been upsetting, think about who you can talk to or what you can do. And remember that we want to focus on how we're solving it as well. You know, so I just want to say that in case anybody has to leave. So I've got Jodie, Alex, Kevin, and Stevie with their hands up. So I'm going to go Jodie first, if that's all right.
And also Vicky's got a hand up as well.
I see Vicky. I'm not ignoring you, Vicky. Sorry.
Just to quickly say again, us guys at Speak Up, we've done a hate crime DVD, and there's 2 stories on it, a man and a woman. Hopefully soon it'll be on our website, so we'll let you know when it is, and then you guys can maybe have a look at ours, see what you think.
That'd be brilliant. Be great. I think people are nodding, Jodie, so I hope you can see that. Vicky, did you want to add anything from a Speak Up point of view, just whilst we're on Speak Up?
I just wanted to add in, I feel that Jodie might have forgotten about this, but Speak Up is also a hate crime calling centre where people can report crime to one of his colleagues called Ian, and he'll report it to the police. Because that's the other thing what Speak Up can do as well. I know we under Rotherham, but I'm surely anyone who's got hate crime, we can report it to Speak Up.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Thanks, Vicky. And that's a really important point, isn't it? It comes back to what Joanne and Kev started us off thinking, which is about reporting it, knowing it's wrong, building up the evidence. Really important stuff to help people report. I don't know what order you put your hands up in. Alex, Kevin, and Stevie. Do you?
Yeah, it was Alex first, Kevin, and
Brilliant.
then me.
Was it? Go on, you're a good man, Stevie, for going last. Alex.
I was going last, yeah.
I'll just say I really enjoyed that presentation. I thought that video was really good, and all the people that acted in it, I thought did a good job. And I thought they're really brave to speak up, and they did a great job. And I thought it was so brave to speak up on what happened to them, and I thought they were really, really good and so honest and brave to speak up on what they did on that video. And I think it was really good. And for all the people who did it, I'd like to say a congratulations to all the group on that fantastic video, and to the person who presented the video on this meeting.
Thank you.
And I've learned so much for this meeting. And I've learned so much today about this meeting about hate crime. And I will never let anyone have a go at me, because I'm a person, although I've got a disability, I have my own rights, like everyone else on this group, and we have our rights to live a normal life, even if you have a disability or not. We have a right to live our own lives, and for no one to be disrespectful or horrid towards us. And everyone has the right to live their own free life and not be disrespected. And I think it's very important it's me to all about this.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. That's too right. That's absolutely spot on. Philippa, sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you.
No, that's okay. And just to say thank you for the lovely comment. And I'll pass the comments over to everyone when I see them next week, hopefully. So I'll pass everything on to them.
Fantastic. Thank you. Kevin Rogers, did you want to go next?
Yeah, I experienced this hate crime years ago, 2013. I got caught because of mental health. They called me retard, spastic. And then the next minute the police gave me caution. Next minute they threw a stone at Dad's house where Dad used to live. and it did made it worse. But the police then dropped the case afterwards, and Dad moved away after that.
Right.
In the place, and also I was because I'm half Irish. I get a race hate crime sometimes called Paddy, and geography things. Irish go back to Ireland and all that stuff, and
right.
I get fed up with that, and it's not my fault. Dad's Irish. It's not my fault, is it?
No, but there's too much of it. Like everybody said today, it's about what we can do to try and educate people and stop it. And the people who won't learn, then we need to help them get prosecuted or something, don't we? You know. But okay. I think thanks, Kevin. I think Steve is next, and then Matty, you're going to have to be our last word because we'll have to finish. Then, if that's all right, Jodie, you've still got your hand up. I need to know if that's.
Hi everyone.
It's an old one. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. So go on, Stevie. I think you were next.
Yeah, okay. Well, I was bullied and that and called names when I used to be at primary school when I was about 7 or 8, and also when I was at primary school when I was up until I was 13, but because a lot of the times I never stood up to myself. I was very negative in myself due to my disability. And also to say I really enjoyed the video. I think I learned quite a bit from it and learnt that I've got to try and stand up to myself, because other people have asked me for money, and when I haven't given any money saying I haven't got any, they kind of told me, said I was, called me every name under the sun, etc. And also what I'd like to do is I'd like you, Sam Clark, to contact Ace Angular to see if we can do a video of hate crime, because we also have self-advocacy groups as well. So I'd like you to contact Chewy and mention it to this chap who's called Jonathan.
I think you could contact Chewy, couldn't you? Maybe we both do it together, Stevie. Maybe we do it together.
So we could sort something out
more
there,
than I
so
do,
I
I think.
learn to stand up to myself a bit more. So I still need to learn to do that. So that would be quite good.
Yeah.
Well,
I think you've been brilliant today. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, Matty, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to make it quick because I know time's getting on. But basically, I was a hate crime ambassador, and I used to go and help people report it to the police because they were so afraid to report it to the police in case it escalated out of control and stuff. So basically, the video was really powerful, and I really enjoyed it. And I just want to say that don't be afraid to report it. Just report it if you want to report it, or go and see your local hate crime ambassador, or go to your local hub.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Matty. That's great. So, Paul Eastwood, go on. Sorry.
Very quickly, and I mean this very quickly. It's a lot of it is, what's the word I'm looking for? The sense very quickly. A lot of it is not. You can't get it quickly, and that is the hardest part of it. So you would not know it's getting there underneath your nose. It's like me very quickly. It's like I got abused by my mother. I got literally, I got forced to do jobs day in, day out. If the jobs wasn't done under a certain time, I would get hit with shoes, brushes and mops, and anything went. I've been cut up twice with shoes. I had to have 3 or 4 stitches in my head.
Okay.
So effectively, that kind of abuse needs to be really, really stamped out.
Yeah.
And we really need to stand up to these bullies.
And the really important thing for everybody to leave remembering is it's not okay. Nobody can treat you like that.
Not.
And the important thing is to find somebody you can tell, isn't it?
But the other part is it leaves a scar on you. It leaves a scar on you for the rest of your life.
It does. And that's the other thing, is to think about support and how we get support after the bad things, isn't it? To deal with that and to. So I've got a sense that people might be interested in a meeting to talk about this more and what we could do together. Is that right? And Joanna said she'd really like to talk more about hate crime reporting centres and if they work and what people think is good and bad, and especially now that nothing's open. Well, you know what I mean. in the normal ways. We're not back there yet, are we? Okay. So if any of you are interested in that, will you get in touch with me or Rachel or any of us, and we'll maybe work out how we do that together. I'm going to ask everybody who talked today if we can share a link to their film, and I'll get you an email. I think Joanna said she'll already share any links. And I think that the film that Campaign for Change made is on the internet anyway, isn't it? It's on YouTube, I think, Philippa.
Yes,
So,
it's basically, and the film's on the Facebook for Campaign for Change. Everything's on there, all the details. There's some more look like fun videos on there that people can watch and listen to and things like that. So
okay.
I know I'm on a couple of them as well. So.
I'm going to go have to have a look for you then, aren't I? Okay, so I will. I will make sure we get an email out to you all. I know lots of you have got to go. Thank you so much to Joanne and Kevin and Philippa and Becca and Vicky and Jodie, who've all shared stuff they're doing, and to all of you who spoke. Thank you so much. It's been absolutely great to talk about this.
Can I have the next link, please?
Yes, I'll make sure you do, Paul. Let me write that down before I say yes and then don't do it.
And me, please, Sam.
Dribble out my ears. Yeah.
Next link as well.
Yeah. Okay. Philippa, go on.
And if anybody would like the link to anything to do with Campaign for Change, it's on the Facebook Campaign for Change details, and it's and if anybody's got Facebook or anything like that, it's on the Facebook Campaign for Change social story.
Philippa, can I put something to you, please?
Of course you can. Am I talking?
Basically, I've got reading and writing problems myself, and I've got a Facebook account. So if you can find my name on Facebook, you can add me and put the actual video link on there.
Yeah, and to be honest, Paul and stuff, do you mean to ask Scott to do it and stuff? You got my mate Scott is in charge of Campaign for Change as well.
Yeah, fine. Just my full title is Paul Eastwood.
Okay, but we'll also try and get you all an email or whatever email you shared when you signed up. We'll try and get you a link in that. Is that okay? Perfect. Thank you all again.